All right, Zach, tell me everything. What happened?
So we're probably like a week and a half out now.
Okay.
I was doing a 100K in Madison, Wisconsin, Mad City 100K, and it's a 10K loop, so I got maybe 3 loops in, 30K in. I started feeling my left Achilles tendon start to feel a little more sensitive, and then it just kind of got progressively worse from there to the point where on my 5th loop, I just kind of really slowed down and basically conceded that I was going to stop after that, so I didn't potentially do more damage than I already had. So
good idea. That
was kind of the immediate side of things. I did have some issues with this tendon last year, like end of the year, November, December timeframe.
Okay.
And worked on it during kind of my off season, and then sort of phased back in early part of January, and didn't really notice it at all for like the last 2 months. Minus one day I did wake up in the morning after a long run and it was a little tender, and I just took the day off, cycled instead. And other than that though, it really didn't bother me in training up until that race for the most part. So that's kind of the like when I first noticed it to today, or I guess not today, that's to Mad City. To today, I would say like it's felt pretty good since about 3 days after the race, where I'm walking around without feeling any pain in it. I'm cycling quite a bit. I've done like a couple like 15-minute runs just to kind of see how it felt, and that's gone well. It hasn't really been any more painful during or after those. I've done like the 24-hour kind of protocol where I just see, okay, is it more tight this morning than it was yesterday morning based on what I did the prior day? And it's been good. I'll say like I'll notice it just like subtly compared to my right one, which my right one feels perfectly fine. Like I don't notice it at all. So I can, like, if I'm sitting for a long period of time, I might notice it for like a few steps before I kind of get moving, and then it just kind of like drifts away. So that, and then I've been doing kind of the eccentric heel drops on a wedge, and then isometric holds are like the other things I've been doing from just like a rehab standpoint so far. So.
And none of those are irritating it so far. Mm-mm. It's a nice slow build. Quick question on history. Any prior history of injury or pain in a pelvis, hip, glute, IT band, even prior to the Achilles issue in November of last year?
Yeah, I mean, I've been running for 25 plus years, so I've had a lot of different things. I would say, like, does it matter how far back?
Doesn't matter how far back. That'll surprise people, but it's very helpful for me, and I'll also figure it out in the consultation and the evaluation and the move. But I do like to hear the history. It really all, hip bone's connected to the knee bone, and all the history counts.
So I would say my first ever running injury was this left Achilles tendon. That was back in, I want to say like 2005. So 20 years ago.
Wow.
But it was a bit of a nasty case. It took me 4 months to kind of get over it. So I missed the entire indoor-outdoor track season.
Was it macro trauma? Did you fall off of something, step off a curb?
No, I think it was overuse. I'd started college cross country, started running more miles than I had historically. So.
And on a track?
It actually, I'm trying to think when it. That's possible. I'd have to.
Were you
go
doing
back
a lot
and
of
look.
track at that time?
I was coming off a cross country season, so a lot less. But it could have been as you transitioned onto the track.
Sure.
Started kind of.
And was that back when you just went left? Which I know it's still sort of traditional, but have you seen that recently where they're trying to switch directions? So that's something to note too that I see often, especially in the youth now. If they're running in the one direction on the track, that's going to be the side they have the IT band or the Achilles.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's on that.
Okay,
well,
so not to pivot, but like I have been doing a lot of track long runs right now because the race I was building up for in June is on a track.
That's not a pivot. That's very relevant.
Okay.
So you see how that does that make sense? How you can't help but lean more onto that left side. So that if we could touch on one thing for any listener out there is to really watch out for those track workouts, especially if you're going in that one direction, and watch the volume because it is not symmetrical, right? We're running in. And even if we go the exact opposite on the other side, it's still a track, and to watch the track volume of mileage on a track just because of the asymmetry on the track.
I mean, I've done like 20 plus mile long runs on the track, so there's plenty of volume.
Okay.
And I was doing speed work too, so there were some weeks where I was down there probably 2 or 3 days a week and quite a few miles on the track.
That'll be something that will adjust for future. So that's good to know. So that was not a pivot. That was really good. So that's probably why it did get exacerbated. So you were doing a lot of track miles training up until this race as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? I'm curious.
So this race was kind of a tune-up race, just like to see where my fitness was at relative to what I've been doing so far. The race I was actually structuring my training around is end of June, and that one's on an indoor track in Milwaukee.
Oh,
so,
that's why.
Yeah, and usually I would wait a little longer to get on the track even for that. But this year I've been kind of in a setup where I'm trying to figure out what shoe I want to wear for that. So I've been testing different shoes just to kind of gauge how they feel comfort-wise for those longer duration efforts, and then just from a performance standpoint too. So another variable is probably a lot of different shoe types, not just one consistent type of shoe.
In a lot of the value that my clients see in just seeing a physical therapist that's been doing this a long time is some of this information. You know, just the track mileage, the volume, and the one direction, the shoes, just so we can, because it'll be fixed. You and I both know it won't take us that long to get this fixed, to get you expedited, top-notch science-backed recovery. That's going to be the easy part. It's let's prevent this from happening again, and that's probably the majority of my job here. Besides my magical...
Telling me what not to do.
Exactly. And putting my magical hands on you so we can fix it so I don't have to see you again. We want to make sure that calcaneus, and let's probably get into that portion of it now that we have history. I love that. So now I am going to do some tests and some measures to see how the pelvis is looking, what's firing often. And I'd be surprised if we don't have it. It's a TFL that's not firing. So there could be a TFL that's not firing. I can open that up in a second, get that firing. If that TFL is not firing, there creates a little tiny micro instability in the knee, which has to compensate the calcaneus and the ankle. So then the Achilles takes the full brunt of it. So a lot of times it's up here I'm treating, and down tertiary at the place where it really got injured, we're treating, but we really got to get to the root, and that fixes ultimately that, coupled with probably not doing as much volume on the track, so we're not leaning on that one side, and finding the right shoe, and getting the right rehab and recovery in place. That's overarchingly my plan. Yeah,
in terms of like injury history too, I have had issues up in those areas too. Like most recently I had some like upper hamstring issues. Yeah, and I actually have a partially torn right hip labrum. So that's not really caused me any noticeable discomfort. I mean, that happened in 2011, so...
It all counts.
Yeah, but like my entire ultra running career essentially has been done on that, so it's been like, it's there obviously, it probably impacts my mechanics in some degree, but from my understanding, there's not a whole lot I can do about it other than strength and mobility and
Absolutely, but good to know so that for the compensatory that's potentially happening. How's the pain?
I notice it a little bit in there, but I wouldn't put it anywhere above like a 1.
Okay.
And actually, now that I'm doing it again, I don't notice it. So it's like that first couple reps, essentially.
Awesome. Okay, that's fantastic news. Obviously, it's not a complete rupture, and the biggest strategy for me is to figure out what's causing the compensation and address that in addition to this. That's going to be gold. That's going to be money for you. Okay. Because once we know that, we just attack that and keep those firing. Here's what I forget to explain to people, and it makes sense. When there is scar tissue inhibiting a muscle from firing, that muscle can't fire and stabilize. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just weak. You're not weak. I don't see anyone who's weak in here. Not one person do I see in here is weak. They have scar tissue inhibiting muscles from firing. And so it's my job to release them. Yeah. And then the recovery concurrent helps decrease the inflammation and get the blood flow and helps with the mobility. So that's a lot of what we're doing today. That's what I specialize in. It's just releasing that scar tissue to allow the muscle to fire to stabilize the joint. It's really easy, right? Okay, let's do a couple more tests. Face up for me, Zach. So you're gonna lay on your back, face up. Cool, yeah, so I saw some really fun things you can work on. Relax your feet, relax. Great symmetry. Push up to the ceiling, push up. It's a little psoas. Let's do a little iliacus here, a little adductor, push up. Okay. Let's rotate it in, push up and out. Good, and no pain so far, right?
No.
Okay, push out to the side. Ready, push out. Not bad for, this is the side you have the labral lesion?
Yep, yeah.
Not bad at all. Probably, we can tune that up pretty easily. So far anteriorly and laterally, frontally, it's not bad at all. You're firing.
Okay.
Let's see how psoas and iliacus and adductor are here. Push up. Okay, good. Push up. Okay, good. Push up and out. Okay, what happened right there?
That one might be a little weaker.
Why? No hip issues on this side? No labral lesion?
Not that I know of.
Okay, you have nothing. Are you trying?
Yeah, I'm trying, yeah.
You're trying. Okay,
Yeah, it just doesn't do it.
Let's do the side. Internally rotate, push up and out. Okay, here we go. You know what to do here. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, hey, that's great news.
We got to solve the solution.
What the heck happened here, though? I mean, I'm going to open it, but I also want to know what's going on. Okay, push out to the side. Push out. Okay, I'm going to go a little lighter, and you're going to push against me.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, what's happening here? Okay, what happened here? So that is huge.
Okay.
You're not firing. So if those aren't contracting and firing, you're gonna feel it here, you're gonna feel it here, and this is your side, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I would love to know as a practitioner why that is at the moment. We'll think about it later. We'll just fix it.
Okay.
Because that's huge. Now let's check your posterior chain, flip over on your belly. So that's a huge issue for me right here. Let's just first take a look here. Okay, because you're rotated. That's why. So your SI joint is popping out a little bit more here. So we'll do some pelvic and hip mobilizations and a lot of ART and you probably have heard of ART, but a lot of like scar tissue stuff released through here. I don't do anything aggressive. Things may move, but there's no aggressive thing here happening. You can I can refer you out for chiropractic. But for me, okay, yeah, so we got something going on here. Great, so we know what we're doing here. Let's do a real quick test here. Push, keep this leg straight, raise it up. The whole leg, yep, push up. Good, bend this knee for me. Push it out towards me. Excellent, pull it in. Good, and now pull it to your left. Excellent. That's your right side. Straight leg, raise the whole leg straight up. Push up. Okay. I mean, you're holding it up. I feel like it's a tiny bit weaker. And you want to try that again?
Sure.
Okay, that's okay. I'm not mad at that. But you're definitely compensating with a glute there because your rotator, your glute let me see. I gotta get into that sacrum too.
The left hamstring has been the one that's caused me trouble in the more recent time frame too, so. This
is making sense. I like when the puzzle all ties itself together. Yeah. This is great. Okay, out towards me. Okay, rotator. In towards your butt. Oh yeah, no, we can do that first. In towards, oh, we got a little something there too. So your quadratus femoris, your superior gemelli, probably your little piriformis, and then heel towards butt, hamstring. Yeah, okay. So it's probably a deep hamstring scar. We'll find it, don't worry, I'll find it. Okay, let's see. So I got that, I know what's going on up there. We need to treat that, oh gosh, and then you're compensating with that. Okay, Zach, we have some work to do.
That one's really tender.
I know. Okay.
Ooh.
I know, you almost kicked me. Okay, so my sessions are known to be very intense. I will be nice to you since it's your first day.
Okay.
But that's literally why people see me.
Okay.
And they wait 6 months to see me. And they fly in to see me. And they, yeah. So it won't be easy regardless of how you look at it. Okay. I will be a little more gentle on you today. And I'm just gonna touch on everything I saw and be nice. But yeah, let's get our hands on it probably 5 times. Let's you and I.
Okay.
And then concurrent to that, you're doing as much recovery and red light as you can.
Okay.
And we're gonna knock it out. So let's see. Fake through the face hole, take that hat off. All right, arms to your side. Let's get started. I like to check all the things. It gives me a better understanding about what's going on. I promise I won't be obsessed about getting it all today. I'll just do, a little bit at a time. Organize. I'll do a little fascia. So you feel that? That was just fascia. That's just easy to, get a little fascia. Opening feels really good. A little bit more fascia. Okay, good there. Now let's get started on this. Get on your, probably for camera purposes, get on your right side, but your head down here.
Okay.
I'm thinking so they don't see your, yeah, there you go. This will be good. Okay. All right. Now, first things first, I gotta get this TFL. So what you are gonna do is you're going to slide all the way back to me.
Okay.
On this edge of the table. I gotcha. All the way back, all the way back. This was the first thing. I'll make sure we don't show your hiney here. This was the first thing, and this is so important. This is the and I'll tell you as I work on you, relax your knee, relax your knee. This is the tensor fasciolata, and I'm gonna start out very easily, but I'm just gonna show you what we're working with. So this tensor fasciolata is the muscular attachment of the IT band.
Okay.
It pulls in the IT band here, and then the IT band comes all the way here and attaches here. Mm-hmm. So yours is not firing, and we're just gonna get it to fire real quick, just by doing a few things. So you're just, right now we're just gonna relax, we're just gonna warm it up a little bit. Slide your whole body forward. All right, now I'm gonna get this SI a little bit. So I'm gonna walk you through this protocol. Pretty easy, feels pretty good. I have a little castor oil. I love a little castor oil. Take that top leg, drop it down to the, floor right there. Take this arm, reach it above your head. Give me a deep breath in and a big stretch so we can open up this QL, quadratus lumborum, and this diaphragm. Good, bring it back. Good, bring that arm back. All right, here we go. Leg first, then arm. Ready, leg, arm, deep breath. Excellent, few more passes here. Drop, leg, raise arm. I'm starting to get into that L5S1. Okay, right there is where you have the jam, and the superficial tissue here. You're so strong and a tiny bit bound up. Here's what's great. You release very quickly and easily because you're extremely healthy, but it takes a few rounds to get to this spot. Pretty easy to get to though. You see that dorsal sacral ligament's a little jammed right there. We're gonna unjam that. And then we're gonna get into the sacrum. Yeah, do you notice now my hand is going all the way down your sacrum here?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Right there. That's your sacroiliacus ligament. Oh, do you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, this will be a little intense. This one was not firing, and it needs to. And go. Hip flexion, and a deduction, and a rotate. Get that knee to your nose. Up, up, up. Pull, 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 pull. Come on, you got it. 5 rounds. This is gonna be clean.
It's like mile 99 of 100 miles.
since we've had a recent hamstring strain. I'm gonna go ahead and get this doctored on you here. Now this move here is, okay, what you're gonna do on this is you're gonna pull your knee into your chest, Zach. Pull, knee into chest. Kick the leg straight. Kick the knee straight, yep. And we're just gonna piece through all of the origin of at the ischial tuberosity. I'm going all the way up the sacrum now as well because the medial fibers of the hamstring attach into the sacrum. Bring it back. We'll do that again. Just know that if you obviously want to get back at full speed, it's going to eventually, like, I'm going to have to hammer it. Okay. Right? We'll start out easy today, but eventually it's going to have to be. I want to see it gone, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll see how you do today, but this will take us a little more time. Okay, first thing I want to do is check your calcaneus motion. So you're actually a little jammed up here too.
My right ankle I've had issues in the past with. I had some partial torn ligaments in there.
I'm looking at you again. Of course you did. I said your ankle's jammed up. You're like, I've also had an injury.
I'm just testing you to see how predictive you are.
I'm amazing. Don't test me. I'm that good. I'm that good. You're funny. I like when you test me. That's good. You should test me. And I'll tell you how good I am. Yeah, so really, I'm just because it's bothering me, I'm just gonna open up these ligaments that surround the Achilles, because what you wanna see, and it's not doing it, spit my gum out so I don't choke on it. What you wanna see is you wanna see this calcaneus move, and it's not. Just do a little bit more ligamentous release real quick. Whoa, this is so tight. So I'm gonna be kind to you, but this needs some motion, some treatment. Oh yeah, once we release the scar tissue, we'll get this firing again.
It's a little less tender now than it was that first time. I think sometimes it's just like...
Absolutely.
I've noticed this when I've done like just self-massage on the calf. It's like the first like bit is semi-intolerable, and then like you can kind of get in a little deeper.
Start plantar flexed and slightly inverted for me, Zach. And then when I start, I want you to dorsiflex, so pull your foot under the table. Yep, all the way. Excellent. Bring it back. Excellent. Do that again for me. Excellent. You okay?
Yeah.
I can't see your face.
That one was a little more tender.
Yeah, especially as we plantar flex and we shorten.
It's really just that like mid spot on the tendon itself that's the tenderest.
Well, we got to get it out. I know, you're doing great. I know it hurts.
It's got to hurt before it feels good, right?
Yeah, it's a conundrum, isn't it? Doesn't seem right that it should hurt.
In running, we call that type 2 fun.
Exactly. Flip over onto your back face up. I want to test out this TFL. See how many more rounds we need in order to get this guy to fire. Okay, internally rotate here, push up and out, ready, go. Okay, I'm liking that.
Getting better already.
I didn't push you down. Yes. And then you're gonna go out to the side.
It's just weird, like the first time, it's like I was trying to command the muscle and it just didn't do anything. Like
that's the scar tissue inhibiting the tissue from firing. Not because you're neurogenically weak, have any neuro issues. There's zero weakness in your body. It's because the scar tissue is inhibiting the muscle from firing. And we just without even a lot of pain, release that scar tissue.
Yeah.
And then it's firing. Now, at abduction, abduction, push out.
Oh.
I want to do that 3 more times to get a little more neuromuscular education on that.
Okay.
Ready, push out. Yeah, because you see on the first time, your brain was a little like, I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, right.
That's all that, just
It's learning
neuromuscular. One more time, push out. And now your muscle knows what to do. So now your brain knows what to tell this muscle to do. Because a lot of times that connection is not there because of scar tissue, your body forgets what to do. So sometimes it takes 2 or 3 rounds of hip abduction with resistance, and so that's why I did that.
Okay.
So you're firing, which is great. That doesn't mean go run 100 miles.
Right.
You still have some issues. But every time I see you, I'm gonna check those tissues. I'm gonna check your sacrum. In fact, let me check it. Go face down. Let me see if we moved it a little bit, because that's gonna be it. I wanna make that not aggressive. I wanna make that kind of a work in progress, but we should have it back in. Oh yeah, this is so much better. This is so much more relaxed. I have a feeling it could creep back up though because of the previous fractures here. That scar tissue will take me maybe two more rounds, and then that'll be gone. This will be settled down. This won't take me very long either. We got some great passes on this one. This will take me the longest, but I'm not worried about it. TFL feels great. We're gonna check that every time. And then once we feel really great, like this is done, I do want to open up a little bit of this right hip to restore mobility, because I do think you just have some jams here. You don't have this. I want to continue opening the ligaments here, but you're not scarred down. Can you feel the difference between the mobility and the pliability and this soleus where it meets gastroc compared to this? Now this is better.
Yeah.
This was just a pile of, it's almost like block of fascia, bound fascia. Let's also continue your eccentrics at home, your isometrics that you're doing, and let's just try to get another session next week, just so we can stay on top of it. I think 3-4 sessions with me, 5 sessions at the most, we'll have that all knocked out, and the rest is just going to be re-educating eccentrics, isometrics. Then we're going to start adding bounding. We'll make sure you're in the right shoe, not doing you should be back sooner than I even thought.
Okay, cool.
Any questions?
So I should just continue biking for now? Is the best protocol?
You know, I mean, you ran 15 minutes and didn't increase your pain. I wouldn't be mad at you if you came back next week and you're like, I did a little running. Truly, at this point, it is up to how your body feels and your intuition.
Okay.
Often with elite athletes like you, I can say so much, but it's going to be your intuition. You're not going to do anything that's going to hurt. And I know that you're not going to push past the point. And sometimes it does take a little bit of re-education running. Your body's used to running hundreds of miles.
Right.
So completely abruptly stopping may be worse. And you don't have a complete avulsion. There's a lot of scar tissue, but it's not off where I'm bracing you and you're not weight bearing. If you can jog a little, I'm not going to be mad at you. I don't want you to push through.
I won't do any 20-mile track long runs.
Don't get on the track until I tell you.
I'm not going to touch the track if I can.
The other thing that I often forget, and I'm not going to forget, I'm going to tell you right now, is 48 hours after a change, you're going to feel great, but you're also going to be a little more unstable than normal, because I'm opening tissue that hasn't been open. So if you run too long on a new TFL that's firing, you can fatigue it. Exactly. So just be careful in the 48 hours, and then you should feel pretty money, and then we'll have our session next week. But in between now and then, if you want to do a couple of short runs, I won't be mad at you.